Hello and good afternoon and welcome to another Saints Live. I'm Steve Forbes.
And I'm Kenzie Benali.
Well, it is good to be back, Kens, and it seems maybe I missed quite a good one last time out.
Yeah, you did indeed, Steve. I mean, what a brilliant win for the Saints. 3 hugely valuable points for them. And of course, we're hoping for more of the same today.
Yeah, very much so. Now, Southampton return to the road with a trip to Old Trafford to take on Manchester United in the Premier League today. Now, the term legend isn't something thrown around lightly on Saints Live, and we booked a pair to join us today. Now, unfortunately, Paul Belveston and Adam Leach couldn't make it, so standing in, we have ex-Saints Dean Hammond and Franny Benali. Lovely to see you both, as always. And Dean, it's been quite a big birthday for you recently.
It is, Steve. Yeah, thanks for mentioning that, mate. I turned 40 this week, so I'm not sure how I feel about that yet. But yeah, it was my 40th during the week, so I'm getting a little bit older, which is a shame, but I'm hanging in there, mate. I'm hanging in there.
You certainly are looking great for your age, Dean, if I do say so myself. Happy birthday. And Franny, it's been a little while since we've had you on the show. How you been keeping?
Hey, Steve. Hey, Ken. Dino. Yeah, all good. Thank you. Yeah, really good to be joining you again. Really looking forward to this one. And big game. We know the position we're in and the points that we need to start picking up. But yeah, this is always a fixture that excites any fan, I think. So looking forward to this today.
Yeah, absolutely. Great to have you both with us on the show, and belated birthday wishes to you as well, Dean. Now let's get straight into the early team news, shall we? Because the official team news is coming your way in just under 15 minutes time. Only a couple of things for us to consider, really. We know that Charlie Alcaraz is a doubt after picking up an injury last week. And of course, Tino Livramento and Juan Larios are still out. Everyone else is available though, Dean. Now, after last week's win over Leicester, would you consider making any changes, or do you think Ruben will stick to the same starting 11?
I think it will be very similar, Kenzie. I think after keeping a clean sheet, winning the game, putting an effective performance in, I think the manager's shown before that he likes some consistency in his selection. For me, you have to consider the fact that they're playing Wednesday night as well, at home against Brentford, which is a really, really important game. So would Theo Walcott start today, or would he save him maybe for Wednesday? Alcaraz obviously is injured, so who comes into that midfield area? Could it be Stuart Armstrong? Could it be Elanusi? Could it be Diallo coming into that midfield area to make it more solid, a bit more defensive, because we are playing away at Old Trafford against a very, very good Manchester United team. But I think it will be very, very similar. I think if you look at the team, it's important to have some pace in the team today, because there will be stages where we will be defending reasonably deep. We will be under pressure, and we need players that can carry the ball up the pitch, or, on that counter attack, have that pace to be able to support Shea Adams in attack. So I think it will be very, very similar, because the performance was very good last week. The balance was there. Defensively, we were good. Needs to be some improvements from set pieces. Leicester did have some opportunities from those set pieces, so we need to tighten up there. But defensively, we were pretty sharp, but we also carried a threat and created opportunities. So it was a good team effort. There was a real togetherness. There was a discipline in the performance, and we will definitely need that today. So I think there will be some consideration for the game on Wednesday, but you have to play the game that's ahead of you. That's the most important thing today. And I think the manager will stay very, very consistent in his selection, maybe with 1 or 2 changes, but the base is there for another good team performance, carrying that confidence from the victory against Leicester.
How would you like the Saints to line up this afternoon, Franny?
I think with the formation that we went with at the Leicester game, Steve, was good. That 4-2-3-1. It's slotting the personnel into a formation that's going to work for the squad and the players that Ruben's going to choose. Dean makes some good points there. You've got to be mindful of a midweek game, again, that Brentford fixture that's been rearranged. But you want to go to places like Old Trafford, and you have to. You can't go there expecting to just defend for 90 minutes and hope that you come away with the results. So you've got to take the game somewhat to them, and that's an element of retaining possession, being a threat going forward. Dean mentions the pace in the side. That's always crucial, really, in any team, especially if you're going to be defending a lot and looking to counter-attack and break out. Set pieces are a hugely important thing. We've got the potential for James Ward-Prowse to go level with David Beckham on the goal I think it's the 18, is it? Premier League direct free kick. So, this would be a wonderful day at Old Trafford against Manchester United if he could sort of draw level with Beckham. But, can't underestimate. It's a big ask. It's a big test. And none more so the fact coming off the back of the 7-0 defeat at Anfield last week. Yes, there was a reaction against Real Betis midweek from United, but this is a tough place to go, for any club. And it's going to be a real difficult one for us. But I would like to see us set up in a positive way, not too defensive. I mean, we've had 2 clean sheets out of the 3 Premier League games that Ruben's been in charge now. So certainly an improvement there. But it's going to be a test and a challenge to keep another clean sheet against United today. But try and keep things tight, maybe just tweak the personnel a little bit, find that formation that's going to be right for us. And substitutions could be pretty key as well today, the timing of them and the personnel to sort of protect the players that are out there, but also try and be a threat within this game to try and take something from it.
Well, before we move on any further, let's reflect back on last weekend's important victory over Leicester.
So, this is a game they cannot afford to lose, not just for the history books, to put themselves right back in it. Here comes Walcott down the right side, 1-2 with Adams, gets to the ball and crosses. Look like a handball. It's a handball. Appeal. It's given by Robert Jones. On his record-breaking Premier League appearance for Southampton, Ward-Prowse has it saved. You can't believe it. Best spell of the game for Saints, 0-0 in the 35th minute. Good tackle by Lavia. And then the ball played down the right wing by Bednarek. That's a nice little touch from Walcott. And Alcaraz is in behind Suter. Alcaraz bearing down on the box. Low shot! He's done it again! Charlie on the spot. His second Premier League start. His second Premier League goal. Alcaraz with a beautifully timed run. He was just admiring his hair, really. Oh my goodness me. Bazuna's given it away. And Iheanacho hasn't punished him. And from the edge of the penalty area, he's looked up and he's hit it just over the bar. Here comes the corner from Maddison. Last chance saloon for Leicester. Right-footed towards the 6-yard box. Headed away by Elyounoussi. Dewsbury Hall brings it down. 20 seconds to go. Still Saints lead. Onto his right foot. Maddison checks onto his left. He wants it on his right. He can't have it. He crosses it. Bazunu comes out. Hits the bar. Oh my goodness me, he missed it. Half of St Mary's stood up. And the shot, the header from Suter, crashed. Iheanacho on the right, crosses, hits Bella Kotchap, and that is it. Southampton finally have won at home. And Saints, on goal difference maybe only, but they are off the bottom of the Premier League.
Well, Dean, we saw Shay Adams come back into the side for that one. He provided a fantastic assist for the goal, didn't he? What did you make of that and his overall contribution to the win?
I think the assist was fantastic, Kenzie. It was just brilliant hold-up play, the awareness that he has. But it's clever positional play as well. If you look at him, he's in between both defenders. He comes from behind, so they're unaware of him. It's the weight of the pass. It's the time of the pass. But he's just fully aware of that ball's coming into him. He knows what he's going to do. He knows he's going to receive it on his right foot and he's going to play it with his left foot. So it's very, very good. And it almost had that opportunity again to have another assist with Sulemana, but just couldn't quite execute the pass again. But Shay was very good. Look, Shay brings so much to this Southampton team. He's such an effective player, whether he scores goals, whether he gets assists like we're seeing here. His hold-up play is so important. So when Southampton are under pressure and they're not having a lot of possession, to go that little bit more direct, knowing that he's very, very reliable, will hold the ball up and bring players into play. He's selfless running in behind. He's willing to do that. His fitness, his strength, and he's becoming a little bit more experienced now. And he's taking that on his shoulders as well. And I think that responsibility sometimes can really help a player and really influence their performances. I think there's more to come from Shay. I really, really do. I think he can score more goals. We've spoke about that this year. He scored some wonderful goals, some fantastic goals that are really eye-catching. His next development is obviously those more simple chances that he gets, but he's always getting into position. So he's an important player to Southampton, and having back in the team at this stage of the season is really, really important. but he makes other players around him better as well. I mean, that assist is top level. It really, really is. It's a fantastic run. It really is. But his awareness to know what he's going to do instinctively in that moment creates the goal. But I'm a big fan of Shea, and him coming back now, it was a good hour for him against Leicester. He had a real effect on the game. He's got a lot of respect from the group and the players around him. And I think he's going to be really important. And if he can get 2, 3, 4 maybe goals to the end of the season, it's a big ask, but he has the capabilities and the ability to be able to do that. He's a big player. He really, really is. So it's great to have him back.
Great assist from Shea and a great finish from Charlie as well, Franny, to score the winner against Leicester. What did you make of him playing in a more attacking position than maybe we've seen him before?
I've been really impressed with him, Steve, since he's been at the club. I mean, I think we saw him come in straight away and have that positive effect on the side. He's clearly a player that is comfortable in that kind of position. I mean, just seeing the work rate that he puts in as well, but he's comfortable in travelling with the ball. You know, Dean mentioned a few minutes ago about carrying the ball and how important that will be in a game against Manchester United. And he's capable of doing that, dribbling with the ball. He's comfortable in possession. He shows a calmness and composure at times, but he's got that goal in his mind as well. You know, he's keen to get shots away, keen to get into the 18-yard box when we're attacking as well. So, you know, just a good signing for us, I think. And one, given that I think we'll just see improvement over time once he gets more and more used to the Premier League. But his goal was just outstanding, wasn't it? The build-up play from us was great. The timing that we heard from Dino talking about Shea, and a couple of touches and a great finish, shooting back across the goalkeeper. And albeit, you know, we might have to tone down the goal celebrations, I think, a little bit if that's how he picked up his injury. But you can understand the passion and the importance of what that goal meant to not just him, but the squad and the team and everyone at the club. So, yeah, very excited to see him develop in the future, but he's got a key role for us today and for the rest of the season, especially with the 2 goals that he scored already in a short space of time. Very, very exciting player.
Yeah, very exciting indeed. And we saw from those videos there the elation from, as Dad mentioned, the rest of the team too. Theo Walcott looking particularly happy after that goal, Dean. I mean, that was his first start since the 6th of November. He left the field to a standing ovation. What did he bring to the side last week? And what would you like to see more of from him for the remainder of the season?
Well, he brings that experience to a very young Southampton team, that know-how at this level and above this level. He's a fantastic player. Like you say, he looks in really, really good shape. He looks hungry and determined to do well for Southampton, which is really, really important. And he had an effect on the game. You see this chance he has early on. He's hungry for it. He's demanding the ball. And I think one thing I'd like to see is Theo in these attacking positions, because I believe he's the best finisher at the football club. You know, he's a natural goal scorer. And if he gets in the positions, he's probably the best player in the club to execute them and score those goals. And we need to score more goals. But, you know, he has that ability to run in behind. He's willing to run in behind. We see that from the penalty, you know, that quick 1-2 he has with Shea Adams. He just goes. He's not looking to try and get on the ball and dribble past people. He has that composure on the ball. He has that maturity. You see that he could have reacted to Maddison there, but he's calm, he's composed. He knows the importance of the game. You can't react in those situations. So he has that, and that comes with the experience. But what I liked about Theo in his performance, he was willing to spend time on the ball. So if you've got players that are willing to have more than 1, 2, 3 touches in the right areas, it gives you a chance to keep possession. It gives you a chance to switch play. It gives you a chance to build up a bit of momentum when you're under pressure, or when you're in an attack position, to look for a better pass, to look for that more creative pass. Stuart Armstrong does it really, really well when he plays, but Theo has that as well. And 9 times out of 10, he makes the right decision. He makes really, really good decisions with and without the ball. And defensively as well, he's covered as well. And he's not as quick as he was, but he was lightning. One of the quickest players ever, I think, in the Premier League. But he's still sharp, and he still has that pace at times. So we'll need that today if he plays. But again, a player coming back at the right time could be really, really important for Southampton.
Yeah, it certainly could do. And Dean, couldn't have timed that any better because the team news for the day's game against Manchester United at Old Trafford is out. So here's our Southampton team. Ainsley Maitland-Niles does miss out with an injury. He's replaced by Roman Perraud. But last Saturday's match winner against Leicester, Charlie Alcaraz, is in after shaking off a knee injury. So here's the Southampton team in full. The starting 11 is Gavin Bazunu, Carl Walker-Peters, Jan Bednarek, Armel Bella-Kotchap, Roman Perraud replacing Ainsley Maitland-Niles, Romeo Lavia, our captain James Ward-Prowse, Charlie Alcaraz, Theo Walcott, Kamaldeen Sulemana, and Shay Adams up top. And the Southampton substitutes are Alex McCarthy, Mo Salisu, Duje Shaleta-Sarr, Ibrahima Diallo, Stuart Armstrong, Moi Elianusi, Sekou Mara, Adam Armstrong, and Paul Onuachu. So, Franny, let's come to you first. What do you make of the team that Ruben selected today?
Yeah, not unsurprising, given that there might have been a forced change with Ainsley Maitland-Niles. Roman Perraud, I think, has been in very good form recently, so not disappointed to see him come in with the qualities that he brings to the side as well. Probably going into left back with Carl swapping across to right back, as you mentioned. So that for me is a pretty solid back four. There's competition for places now, isn't there? That's the thing. And with Shay Adams, we were talking about him earlier. With Paul Onuachu coming in, there's all this competition for places now, and I think that's healthy for a squad and an environment. And the key roles that these people are going to have, each of the players have got to play between now and the rest of the season. So, yeah, it's a lineup that I think is going to be going into the game confident on the back of the Leicester result. But as a player, a former player as well, I know that when you played in a game and you performed well, you always hope that you'd be staying in the starting lineup, and that's the incentive to go and do well. If you win and you play well personally and collectively, the manager's not really going to make wholesale changes, really. So that's what we're seeing today. So in many ways, unsurprising to see only just the odd change.
Yeah, I mean, other than that enforced change, Dean, Ruben choosing not to tinker with a winning formulation.
Yes, and I think the consistency, like Fanny said, really helps. To be honest, you can build that relationship with players. They've got the momentum and the confidence that coming off a really good result and a good away result at Chelsea, 2 clean sheets in 3 Premier League games is really important. And defensively, we need to be good again today. I think the midfield players are important. James Ward-Prowse and Lavia, with and without the ball. They have the ability to keep possession and create those attacking moments that we're going to need to be able to win the game, but also protecting that back four as well and doing the dirty side of the game. And then Alcaraz coming back in is a real bonus, because he's probably the only midfield player we've got that is willing to make those runs in behind and has the fitness and the energy to make those runs in behind and support Shay Adams from long distances when we've been under pressure and not had possessions of the ball. So Perraud come back in. I always like a left-sided player or a left back being left-footed. I think that gives a better balance, and he's a good player and brings that attacking threat. So look, the players are going to have to perform very well today against a good Man United team, and another clean sheet I think would be fantastic. It's going to be difficult, but they have the ability to be able to do that. But this team has really good balance. So exciting to see and test themselves against a brilliant Man United team.
Yeah, absolutely. And we should mention as well, Charlie Alcaraz is aiming to become the 3rd Southampton player to score on his first 3 Premier League starts. Now let's hear from the fans, shall we? What do they have to say today? Well, they're certainly feeling hopeful. Lots of positive comments coming into us. And we'll start with this one from Luke Farrington on YouTube. He says we have to show the same defensive steel like we showed at Stamford Bridge. This is not impossible. Believe and fight. Come on, you Saints. Rosemary Rickett, hello to you. Good afternoon. She says, afternoon all, we can do this. An early goal will hopefully settle us. And I'm saying a big win for Saints. Peter also watching along. He says, I think we can rattle them. More positivity coming from St. Rob. He says he's hoping for a 1-0 win to the Saints. And we have a comment here from St. Paris. Just hope we put in a performance and give it a go. Come on, you Reds. And Dave Morris also hoping for a Saints win. He is going for a 2-1 win to Southampton. But it's time to cast our minds back now, and we're going to throw it back to 1999, Dad. You played in a 3-3 thriller at Old Trafford. What are your memories from that iconic day?
Well, I struggle to remember what happened last week, Ken. So casting my mind back to 1999 is a bit of a struggle. But I think any time that you took a result or a performance from Man United, they were quite memorable. And this was one of the special things I remember. Marian Pajar's nutmegging Yapstam on the edge of the 18-yard box to score a fantastic goal. He was a brilliant footballer, very quick, very pacey, skillful was Marian, but he'd give any defender problems. And United, you just think, they were just so formidable in the 90s and early 2000s that it was always such a hard place to go. And, for us to score 3 goals on a day was great. It would have been a real shame if we'd come away with nothing, having scored 3. But I think the other one is this goal that I remember well. It was Matt's shot that was very tame, took a few bounces and went through Taibbi's legs, which I think, the supporters behind, just sort of, I think you see a reaction of the hands go up to their heads and realise how bad a mistake it was. And I think Taibbi blamed his studs or something on, that goal going in, which seems a little bit weak. But fabulous team, fabulous stadium to play football in. And I think Southampton today, they've got to go there knowing that there might be large spells of the game where they don't have the ball. So they've got to go into the game with the right kind of mindset. But yeah, it's a fond memory looking back and seeing a bit of a retro kit and us scoring a few goals at Old Trafford. I'd be delighted if we score 3 again today, put it that way.
Oh, I think we all would be. That would be pretty wonderful, wouldn't it? I mean, that certainly was a fantastic game. But Dad, we did actually find something else in the archives from that match. Have a look at this. It could have been an even better day if this had flown into the net. What do you think of this?
Oh, wow, blimey. That's as close as it ever came in my whole career, I think. Yeah, not really textbook, is it? Yeah.
We'll call that a Dean Hammond special, don't we?
I appreciate that.
You weren't exactly known for your goal-scoring prowess, were you, Dad? But we had to bring that one up, I think.
Yeah, very true. I think I heard someone shout away or something like that.
A bit more recently, Southampton did get a 1-1 draw against United at Old Trafford last season. Dean, now they were very much in the game and could have won it on another day.
It was a really open game, Steve. A really good game, and it probably very similar today. Man United had that pace and attack with Ronaldo, Rashford, Sanchez, and very, very dangerous. But Southampton caused Man United some real problems. We're seeing an opportunity for Shea, just really unfortunate at that moment where he's just about to put it into the back of net. He slips. But Southampton were good with their very good in possession. They were confident. They took the game to Manchester United. That short, sharp passing, the switch of play caused Man United problems. It really, really did. And Southampton grew into the game, especially after they went 1-0 down. But, the pace from Rashford will be a problem again today. But he was very good on the day against Southampton and Man United took the lead. But Southampton responded really, really well. Chance for Stuart Armstrong. The ball just won't quite drop for him. Perro getting attacking areas. Both fullbacks on the day were really, really ambitious in getting into those areas. And then Southampton equalising in the second half. It's a brilliant goal. It's a good pass from Elanusi. And Shea in that position, it's a difficult angle. That really, really is. But, just gets enough curl on it and gets the post and in. I think that was his second goal of the week after he scored a 1 or maybe 2 away at Tottenham when we had that brilliant 3-2 result. Stuart Armstrong getting that position. And just probably got a little bit excited there. Should go back across goal. And then the save from Fraser Forster at the end. But what I remember as well, Oriol Romeu on the day was brilliant. He really, really was in midfield. Possession of ball. I love watching Oriol play because he was willing to take the ball under pressure, kept possession so well. And he had a part in that equaliser as well, that ball into Elanusi with that first time pass. So a good performance. And if we can perform like that today with the confidence, we'll cause Man United problems. We need a good defensive display as well, which we had on the day last season.
Well, Dad, it was another close affair when Manchester United visited St Mary's earlier this season and won 1-0. What were your reflections from that game?
It was a tight game. I mean, any game against United is always an exciting fixture. It's a team that supporters want to come and watch. From memory, I mean, it was just the 1 goal difference, and there were chances for both sides. I mean, we're going to have to sort of show this kind of resilience and willingness to block shots and defend our goal in today's game, especially. But in any match against Manchester United, you've got to show that kind of willingness, desire, passion. And, this was a good opportunity for Amel Bella-Kotchap to get on the score sheet. But, it's just that one goal, and it was a quality finish from Fernandez, wasn't it? And, they're a quality side. It was a tight game. You need little decisions to go your way sometimes. And this is the finish from Fernandez. It was a goal worthy of winning a game. And that's what United do possess. It's in those tight games when just that one bit of brilliance or magic can make the difference between, taking a point or not, or all 3 points. But we had chances. This was another one, a good opportunity. But you're up against world-class players. And, Dino mentioned it earlier in the conversation that we are going to have to be at our best today to get anything from this match, knowing the recent results that Manchester United have had and the improvement they've made under Erik ten Hag. He's showing his qualities as a manager, and he's made a huge difference to this Manchester United team.
It's a big start to the week, Dean, for Southampton. I mean, they got United today, then Brentford on Wednesday night, and then Spurs next Saturday. What's the minimum points required from this week, do you reckon?
Difficult to say, Steve, to be honest. Obviously, the results yesterday makes this week really, really important. But the result last week for Southampton has given us that incentive and that opportunity to claw a few teams back. Today's difficult. It really, really is, because one, Man United are a very good team. They've improved so much, like Franny has said, but obviously they're hurt from that Liverpool performance last week as well, and they'll want to respond in the Premier League. The Brentford game, they're coming off a defeat away at Everton, but Brentford have had a really, really good season and a difficult team, physical, put you under lots of pressure, defensively very, very good. But it's a home game for Southampton, and a game that we will probably identify from the remaining fixtures that we need to win, really, and definitely get something from. And then the Tottenham game, you just never know what Tottenham team's going to turn up. They could be fantastic and blow you away, or they could be really below par, lack of effort, and we could beat them. So, look, I think if we got 3 or 4 points out this week, I think that would be an exceptional return. I think that's a very, very good return from these fixtures. And it would continue putting us in a fighting position, a very good position to get us out of this situation. And it will continue to build the momentum. Today, I mentioned it last week, I think it's about the performance. I think if you can put a really good performance in, that will continue to build confidence, continue to build belief between the players and belief in the manager as well, which is really, really important. But I think 3 or 4 points from this week would be a fantastic return.
Well, judging by a few of the comments that are coming into us, a lot of the Saints fans are feeling hopeful and confident that we can start this busy week in a positive manner. Barry Norris on Facebook says he'd love to see us sneak a 2-1 win. Ellie on YouTube says, come on you Reds, she's going for a 1-0 Saints win. St. Rob reminiscing says, I always remember the great 6-3 win. And Vishnal going for a 1-0 win as well. And Phil Palmer also hoping for a clean sheet. He also says we need a bit of luck today. Dad, I think that's a fair comment. Of course, Saints fell back to the bottom of the Premier League yesterday. Bournemouth got a win. I know you were at the stadium watching that game. Everton won as well, of course. Leeds picked up a point. It's very tight down there at the bottom of the table, isn't it? But how good would some kind of result be for Southampton today?
Yeah, I mean, the run of results and games that you're talking about, today's going to be a very difficult one. I personally would be happy to. I like the enthusiasm and optimism of the comments you've read out. I would take a point today. I think that would be, something that's come away with something would be a big result at Old Trafford under the circumstances. Similar to Dean, I think 4 points from the next 3 games would be a good return. Some difficult matches clearly against the opposition, but I think we've got to be winning at least one of these games for sure, and at least taking a draw. Ideally 6 points, but that's just being talking a little bit too much with my heart as opposed to my head. So 4 points for me would be good. And yeah, it's tight down there, isn't it? 6 points between ourselves in bottom place now after the results yesterday, and Crystal Palace in 12th place. So 6 points is nothing. I think anyone from Crystal Palace down is in a relegation scrap. We clearly know what's needed and required to get out. So yeah, we need to be picking up points.
Well, it's time to get your final thoughts and those all-important score predictions as well. Dean, obviously United will be hoping to bounce back from a heavy defeat in the Premier League last time out, while Saints have just got an important victory. What are you expecting from today?
I think that's my biggest worry, Steve, is that incentive that the Man United players will have to respond. That the top players anyway, and they'll want to win every game, but they're probably hurt as well. Their pride is hurt. They've been questioned again for the first time in a long time. They've improved. They have. They're a top team again. You know, they're sitting third in the league, still fighting for other cup competitions, and they'll want to win the game today. So this is going to be a test, a real test, a challenging test. But we went away to Chelsea and won 1-0 and kept a clean sheet, so we can do it. But I'm with Franny here. I think if we could get a point today, it would be a brilliant result. I think we need to have a little bit more of an attacking threat than we did away at Leeds. I think we set up away at Leeds to draw the game or get something from the game. And I don't mind that mindset or that tactic, but I think you still need to carry an attacking threat in some way, whether that's winning free kicks and trying to score from set pieces or playing on the counter-attack with the attacking players or quick players in the team. So a 1-1 draw today, I think, would be a brilliant result, and that's what I'm going for.
1-1 from Dean. And how do you see the game going, Franny?
Yeah, similar to what Dean has just touched on. I mentioned a moment ago that it will be a good result today. Can't underestimate how difficult it is to go to Old Trafford. I know they've had some tough times in recent years, but Erik ten Hag is definitely getting them back on course, and they are still smarting from that shocking second half performance at Anfield last week. Yes, they improved against Real Betis in midweek, but this is the Premier League again. Their home supporters will expect them to turn on the style today. So we've got to be prepared for that. So a point for me would be good. I'm going with a 1-1 with Dino.
Okay, so both predicting a 1-1 draw at Old Trafford today. Dad, Dean, thanks ever so much for your company. We look forward to seeing you later on. We are edging ever closer to the match at Old Trafford, aren't we? Kickoff is, of course, at 2 p.m. between Manchester United and the Saints. And don't forget, you can follow along with all of the action by tuning in to the live commentary over on the club's official website. And as always, we'll be back with you after the game for another episode of The Final Whistle. Do make sure you join us then. Bye for now.
See you soon.